Indiana Fever beat the Dallas Wings 102-83. This was a highly anticipated game because it was going to be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers would be going up against one another in the WNBA.
There was a stretch there, and you guys were so hot with the 36 points in the quarter there, and you're just running up and down the court. Was it as much fun as it looked like to people watching it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Good dub. 2 in a row. 2 more to All-Star. Let's go. Woo!
W.
Oh, Fever does. You already know what's coming. Bow, bow, bow! On to the next.
Hell yeah! Can you use that one? Let's go, baby. Give your jersey to Kristen.
W. Now we gotta go get a W.
The WNBA's most anticipated matchup just took place, but what happened wasn't just a game, it was a statement. Two of basketball's brightest young stars, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers, finally faced off as professionals in a matchup years in the making. But what no one saw coming was how Clark, despite struggling early in her WNBA career, would break through in a way no one expected. She didn't just play a good game, she redefined what it means to be a game changer in the WNBA. This wasn't just about basketball. It was about Caitlin Clark showing the world exactly why she belongs at the top. Fans had been waiting for this moment for years. Clark and Beckers, two legendary high school phenoms who chose different college paths, had already rewritten history in college basketball. But the big question remained, could Clark's high-octane style of play make it in the WNBA? Critics, including WNBA greats, had their doubts. They said Clark's fast-paced game wouldn't survive in the physicality of the pro league. Well, on that fateful night, Clark didn't just prove them wrong. She showed the world a brand new kind of basketball, a style that could dominate at the highest level. The stage was set, with the Fever struggling in a rocky season. Clark's confidence was shaken, and her chemistry with coach Stephanie White was at a boiling point. The tension between their contrasting styles was palpable. Clark, known for her ability to push the tempo and run the floor, had to face a coach who preferred a slower, more methodical game. But with the game on the line, Coach White made the bold decision to let Clark take control, and that's when everything changed. Suddenly, it wasn't just a game, it was history in the making. Clark unleashed her full potential. With her newfound freedom, she led the Fever on a scoring spree that left the Dallas Wings helpless. The second quarter was pure magic, 36 points in 10 minutes, a franchise record 64 points at halftime, and Clark not just scoring, but dishing out 13 assists and grabbing 5 steals. Her performance wasn't just historic, it was proof that when allowed to play her game, Caitlin Clark could dominate at the professional level. She didn't just break records, she shattered expectations. Watch now as we break down the jaw-dropping moments from this game that will be talked about for years to come. This isn't just Caitlin Clark's breakout, this is a new era of WNBA basketball. The Indiana Fever's highly anticipated matchup against the Dallas Wings wasn't just a typical game. It was a moment years in the making, the first professional clash between two of the most hyped players in recent basketball history, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers. Both had become basketball icons long before they set foot on the professional court. Their rivalry began in high school, with both players dominating their respective stages, and continued as they became top recruits. Clark's explosive scoring and deep three-point shooting ability paired with Beckers' finesse, smoothness, and court vision set the stage for what many believed would be a defining battle. Their college paths only fueled the fire, with Clark leading Iowa to victories over Beckers' UConn squad in March Madness, including a standout 41-point game that sent the Huskies packing. Critics, including the highly respected Gino Auriemma, raised doubts about whether Clark could adapt her game to the professional level. Auriemma expressed concern over Clark's shot selection and questioned whether her style, known for its fast pace and long-range shooting, would translate to the WNBA's physicality. Meanwhile, Auriemma believed Beckers' more methodical approach would suit the professional game better, and this divergence in philosophy set up a fascinating contrast between two star players. The stage was set for their first professional meeting in the WNBA, and the anticipation was palpable. Fans across the country were eager to see if Clark could continue her meteoric rise, or if Beckers would emerge victorious in this professional professional debut. But things weren't going as smoothly for Clark in the early stages of her WNBA career. Despite her immense talent, Clark had been struggling to find her rhythm, and the Indiana Fever were underperforming as well. With multiple embarrassing losses on their record, including defeats to teams they should have easily beaten, the Fever's season seemed to be unraveling. Their struggles reflected the internal tensions brewing between Clark and Fever coach Stephanie White. Clark, known for her fast-paced, transition-heavy style, wanted to push the tempo, but White preferred a slower, more controlled game. This clash in playing philosophies led to friction within the team, and Clark's frustration became evident as she battled through shooting slumps and the team's inconsistent performance. However, the Fever's performance and Clark's game were about to take a significant turn. With all eyes on her and the mounting pressure to perform, Clark needed a breakthrough, and that moment came when Coach White decided to make a pivotal change. White, who had been hesitant to fully embrace Clark's style, allowed her to take the reins and control the tempo of the game. This decision was a game changer. Clark, who had struggled to find her flow, was now fully unleashed. The game started with both teams feeling each other out, but as soon as Clark began to dictate the pace, the Fever started to gain momentum. The second quarter was a revelation, with the Fever outscoring the Wings by an astonishing 21 points in just 10 minutes. The offense was clicking, Clark was distributing the ball, and the team was running with the kind of pace that had made them so dangerous in the past. This was a whole new Fever team, and they were playing at their best. By halftime, the Fever had set a franchise record with 64 points, surpassing the previous record of 63 set in 2016, and they were not stopping. Clark's ability to read the game, set up her teammates, and score efficiently was on full display, and the entire team benefited from her leadership. The Fever were playing the kind of basketball they had been striving for all season: fast, fluid, and unselfish. The performance in the second quarter was nothing short of spectacular. The Fever were playing with energy and chemistry, making every pass count, finding each other in transition, and hitting shots from all over the floor. Clark wasn't just a scorer, she was a facilitator, drawing defenders in and dishing out pinpoint passes to her teammates. This kind of play led to a near-perfect offensive performance from Kelsey Mitchell, who scored 20 points on 8 of 12 shooting, and Natasha Howard, who was an unstoppable force inside, finishing with 18 points on 8 of 9 shooting. Aaliyah Boston dominated the paint, using her size and strength to control the inside game. Together, the Fever were playing as a cohesive unit, and their unselfish ball movement made them look unstoppable. Sophie Cunningham, off the bench, was another key contributor, adding 13 points and bringing energy to the floor whenever she stepped in. Her performance not only helped extend the lead but also marked her milestone of reaching 1,500 career points. The Fever's offensive onslaught continued into the second half, where they showed that their fast-paced play could dominate in the WNBA. But it wasn't just about the scoring, it was about Clark's all-around game. She didn't just put up numbers, she impacted every phase of the game. By the end of the game, Clark had a historic stat line: 14 points, 13 assists, and 5 steals. This combination of stats had only been achieved once before in WNBA history, and Clark became the first player to do it twice. But the real story wasn't just about the stats. It was about how Clark's defense set the tone for the Fever's success. Her defensive pressure, particularly on Dallas key players, disrupted the Wings' offense and led to multiple fast break opportunities for her team. The Wings' physical defense, which had worked against other teams, was rendered ineffective by Clark's ability to use their aggression against them, finding open teammates and driving to the basket whenever they tried to slow her down. Every time they attempted to stop her, Clark found a way to make them pay. The Wings, led by Paige Beckers, simply couldn't match the Fever's pace, and the result was a 102-83 blowout. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement. Clark had not only silenced her critics but also proven that her fast-paced, transition-heavy game could succeed at the highest level. She wasn't just adapting to the WNBA, she was redefining what was possible in the league. The Fever's team chemistry had finally clicked, and with Clark leading the charge, they looked like a completely different team. The victory over Dallas was more than just a win. It was a confirmation that the Fever could compete with the best teams in the league when they played the style of basketball that suited them. This wasn't just a good game for Clark, it was a defining moment in her career. The rivalry with Paige Beckers had entered a new chapter, and Clark had firmly established herself as one of the WNBA's top players. As the season continued, the Fever had a renewed sense of confidence, and with Clark leading the way, they were poised to make a serious push for the playoffs. Fans across the league were now buzzing about the Fever's potential, and with Clark's vision and leadership, there was no telling how far this team could go. The rivalry between Clark and Beckers was far from over, but for now, Clark had proven that she was ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. The second half of the 2025 season promised to be an exciting one, with the Fever and Clark continuing their ascent into the upper echelons of the WNBA. This victory wasn't just about breaking records, it was about rewriting the script for what was possible in the league. The Fever's fast-paced game, led by Clark's leadership, was not only effective but explosive, and they had proven that when they played their style of basketball, they could dominate any team in the league.